What was supposed to be a night of celebration turned into disaster after 4 friends who were all drunk left the bar in the city without a designated driver. Designate a driver. Don't drink and drive.
This is your news source evening bulletin for today, Monday, the 10th day of February in the year 2025. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The co-leader of the Working People's Alliance, Dr. David Hines, has announced that the WPA has agreed to contest the upcoming elections in partnership with the People's National Congress reform. However, he said the party still remains hesitant about rejoining a Partnership for National Unity, the APNU, given its past experience. Speaking in the press conference this morning, Dr. Hines said during a meeting last Wednesday, the two sides agreed to establish a joint working committee to iron out a number of technical issues.
We have signed off on the coalition. WPA will be going into coalition with PNC, and the PNC, as said, the same. So, but it's a matter of working out the logistics of how WPA being outside of the APNU, all that will play itself out in a practical way.
The WPA is expected to meet again with the PNC reform after the Mashramani celebrations, when it is expected that the committee will put forward its recommendations. WPA Executive Takuma Ugunsi said while the WPA believes in coalition politics and has agreed to partner with the PNC for the upcoming elections, it is cognizant of the challenges that confronted the coalition in the past and will continue to push to have those issues addressed. Sidelining of the parties in the partnership by the then leader and President David Granger was key among the issues discussed.
And we have said over and over that the decision-making mechanism or approach that was used by Comrade Granger had the effects of marginalizing all the political parties in the coalition, including his own party, the PNC.
Another executive of the WPA, Dion Abrams, said the alliance views coalitions in 2 phases: the coming together of parties to contest an election and the formation of a national government, once successful at the elections, to engage in nation building. He said since the Constitution of Guyana does not accommodate post-election coalition governments, therefore parties wishing to achieve the outcome must come together before elections.
WPA is pursuing a coalition with other opposition forces to defeat the PPP, which in our view has taken Guyana once again into the realm of autocratic rule. We do so with the full knowledge that our party lacks the electoral appeal to win an election on its own. Should we go into an election on our own, we risk splitting the opposition vote and ensuring a return of the PPP to power. Given the fact that our last 3 elections were decided by one seat, we are aware that the votes of a small electoral party such as the WPA could make the difference between keeping the PPP in or throwing them out of office. Those who have pledged their support to the WPA are adamant that they do so partly to ensure the latter.
He said while the WPA has its limitations, it brings to the coalition political integrity and independence that could lead to tangible outcomes in voter mobilization and accountable governance. More news coming up in just a moment.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. I can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories, that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
Hi, this is Van Fields of the Style Listings. We'll be on the lawns of the Transport General Sports Club in Georgetown. The Ultimate Soul Concert on Valentine's Night, Friday, February 14th, with our live band for a dinner under the stars. Hope to see you there.
President Irfan Ali has announced a partnership between the government of Guyana and the U.S. to enhance security at the country's ports of entry by introducing world-class scanners that can easily detect undeclared and underdeclared items as well as prohibited items. Speaking on the Energy Prospectives podcast over this past weekend, the president said the intervention is to ensure confidence in the country's security at ports.
For example, we have just drafted a program with the U.S. on bringing in scanners, world-class scanners, at all our port facilities. So let us say you're coming into Guyana, and this will happen before the end of the year. It's very clear. You fill up your immigration form, your custom form digitally, no hassle. You come in. Every bag must go through the scanner. And if there is a false, so we have to amend the law. If there is a false declaration that is made electronically, because everything now is stored and everything there can be audited electronically, and there is a false declaration, then you must have a very high fine that follows that. So, and this is for everything coming in and going out.
In addition to the ports of entry, the president is also hoping that a system could be rolled out at port facilities as well, indicating that this will further bolster investment confidence and for the confidence of persons in diaspora coming back home.
The systems must work. And this is very important for me. We want to build systems that work, systems that are modern, systems that add to accountability and transparency, and systems that enables us to drive the economy forward.
Added to the e-gates that have been installed at the Cheddi-Jaga International Airport, an online embarkation and disembarkation form has also been introduced to further reduce processing times. Travelers can now complete the form before arrival, and kiosks with staff support will be available for those unfamiliar with the process. The president said these interventions are to ensure the smooth flow of traffic through the airports, giving there has been a sharp rise in persons using the airports. Foreign Secretary Robert Poussaint has reminded that the New River Triangle remains an integral and indivisible part of the territory of Guyana, And he believes that Guyanese, especially those who hold positions of leadership and influence in the country, should know the limits of Guyana's territory and with certainty and conviction. Mr. Possad's statement, which was released on social media, followed revelations that at a recent forum that Guyanese businesses and some government offices attended in Suriname, a map of Suriname was used that included part of Guyana's territory. The Foreign Secretary said Guyana has always enjoyed continuous occupation of its internationally recognized and legally established territory, and the New River Triangle has never been recognized nor administered as Surinamese territory, and the appendage of a portion of Guyana's territory to the map of Suriname neither creates nor establishes any legal rights to it. He explained that the current mandate of the Joint Border Commission of Guyana and Suriname is to examine the historical records relating to the unresolved border issues between the two countries and make recommendations to the foreign ministries about how these issues may be resolved. The Commission does not have a mandate to revisit the established boundary, the Foreign Secretary said. In a separate statement today, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said it wishes to state that the presence of representatives of the governments of Guyana at the conference in no way signifies a condoning by the governments of Guyana of the use of a map that incorrectly represents the territory of Guyana. The ministry said the government of Guyana was not consulted about the map prior to its distribution. The ministry said, for the record, the internationally recognized map of Guyana confirms that the New River Triangle is part of the sovereign territory of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. Guyana's ambassador to Suriname was present at the event and did not object to the use of the map. Opposition Member of Parliament Amanza Walton Desir, in a statement today, said there clearly is a need for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to establish a robust standard operating protocol, which will ensure that any occurrence of territorial misrepresentation of Guyana is met with immediate formal protests, both at the level of the organizers, in this case the International Business Conference, as well as at the diplomatic level. She said the defense of Guyana's territorial integrity requires that everyone is proactive, not just engaged in a reactive outrage. She also said it is important that the Irfan Ali administration understands this and operate accordingly. The Suriname-Guyana Chamber of Commerce organized the event. In response to criticism that the body did not object to the use of the incorrect map incorporating parts of Guyana's territory on the map of Suriname, the chamber said the image in question was not part of any of the materials or proposal. The chamber said that the reference map was included in a PowerPoint presentation by an invited conference speaker. The Suriname-Guyana Chamber of Commerce said, as the host of the International Business Conference, its role was exclusively focused on fostering economic collaboration between Guyana and Suriname. The Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry added its voice today to the fallout. In its statement, the chamber said it is deeply concerned by the use of the images with a map of Suriname incorporating the New River Triangle. The Chamber of Commerce said the silence in the face of the threat to Guyana's territory is viewed as an endorsement of same, which the Chamber views as inexcusable. The Chamber now calls on fellow business support organizations and other agencies that acted as supporting actors to the conference to reject the actions and refrain from supporting and justifying any activity that violates Guyana's national boundaries.
Your own home is so much more than just four walls, floors, and ceilings. It's a lifetime of great memories and stories. Come talk to us and start your journey home today.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Ready to up your game? Ready to up your game? Win big with over 60 epic prizes. A brand new PS5, Nintendo Switch, iPhone 16 Pro Max, Apple smartwatch, and the hottest earbuds from Apple and Samsung. Plus, we are giving away thousands in phone credit and a whole year supply of Buster or Turbo Energy drink. Here's how. Buy any Buster or Turbo Energy drink, find the code starting with BB and enter online or on WhatsApp. Visit us on Facebook or Instagram at Turbo_Caribbean or Buster Guyana for all the details. Don't just play. Up your game with Buster and Turbo Energy.
Hi, this is Van Fields of the Style Listings. We'll be on the lawns of the Transport General Sports Club in Georgetown. The Ultimate Soul Concert on Valentine's Night, Friday, February 14th, with our live band for a dinner under the stars. Hope to see you there.
Well, the Ministry of Home Affairs has announced that a new 10-year Guyana passport is now available from the Central Immigration and Passport Office. In a statement, the Home Affairs Ministry said the move is a key component of the government's vision for modernizing Guyana and enhancing service delivery for its citizens. The new passport features enhanced security measures and design elements aimed at improving both identity protection and the travel experience for Guyanese citizens. Applicants will now have the option to choose between a 5-year or 10-year validity period. The cost for the 5-year validity passport remains at $6,000, while the cost for the 10-year validity is $12,000. It was explained that the new passport incorporates advanced security features, including an embedded electronic chip. The ministry said the upgrade aligns Guyana with international standards for secure travel documents, ensuring smoother border crossings and enhanced authentication. It was also announced that in keeping with the government's digital transformation agenda, efforts are underway to introduce an online application system for the Guyana passport. While applicants are currently required to submit manual applications at passport offices across the country, the integration of an online platform will allow citizens to apply remotely, streamlining the process and reducing wait times. A key element of the new passport system is the introduction of enhanced data collection. All applicants will be required to undergo biometric enrollment, including fingerprinting, to further enhance document security. As part of the efforts to prevent any abuse of the system, the process of replacing a lost or damaged passport is currently under review, the Home Affairs Ministry noted. While the existing policy remains in effect, future adjustments may include extended waiting periods for replacement documents to deter and investigate possible fraudulent claims. Municipal news to report now. The mayor of the city of Georgetown, Alfred Mentor, wants the city council to bestow him with executive powers to act, stating that he can no longer sit and wait on the city's administration to implement decisions of the council.
But I depended on an administration to do the job. And the administration continue to bubble. So if they continue to bubble, I can bubble with them, me want to bubble with them. So I'm saying that if they don't deliver by this time, I will seek to get 3 quotes. Or I'll get quotes for these things, identify the best quote for it, and the council will pay for it. I asked, and you know what? I asked the council permission to do that. Because you know what? It's a necessity.
At today's statutory meeting of the council, Mr. Mentor said the municipality's administration has a history of procrastinating and wasting valuable time when treating with important issues. He said though he's not an executive mayor, the council could give him executive power. But PPP councillor and former mayor of Georgetown, Patricia Chase Green, objected to the idea from the onset. It was PPP councillor Stephen Jacobs who earlier cautioned the mayor about acting unilaterally, telling him that he cannot vest certain powers onto himself and act unilaterally. Among concerns raised by Councillor Jacobs was an apparent unilateral decision taken by the mayor in response to an issue involving reserved parking for the Matai supermarket on Water Street. Councillor Jacobs said the mayor was acting on his emotions and should have allowed groundwork to be completed before arriving at any decision. Chase Green urged the mayor to reconsider his decision, but the mayor maintained that the approval was a reasonable one. Tragedy gripped the East Bank Essequibo community of Hydruni on Sunday morning when a fire claimed the lives of a well-known couple in the area. 57-year-old Hans Raj Narain and his 52-year-old wife Hemwati Narain both lost their lives in the blaze at their home. The husband worked as a driver while the wife worked as a teacher. Persons in the area reported that heavy smoke and fire were seen billowing from the house just after 1 o'clock on Sunday morning, and their calls for the couple went unanswered. The fire service was contacted immediately and arrived within 20 minutes of the first call. The firemen went into action with the support from 2 fire tenders. They were able to contain the blaze to the one building. However, the charred remains of the husband and wife were later found among the debris. It is suspected that the two might have been asleep at the start of the blaze and were trapped in the inferno. A cause of the fire is still to be determined. However, investigators believe it may have been electrical in nature. The investigations are ongoing tonight.
Guyana's economy is rapidly transforming, and we're all part of it. Guyoil is at the forefront of this development by providing reliable and efficient energy and supporting community development from the very core. 100% of Guyoil's profit goes back to building schools, roads, and other important infrastructure that connects our cities and towns, providing fuel to domestic, marine, industrial, and aerial transportation. Guyoil has now repositioned itself as a market leader in the petroleum industry, building a better future for all of us.
What was supposed to be a night of celebration turned into disaster after 4 friends who were all drunk left the bar in the city without a designated driver. Designate a driver. Don't drink and drive.
It all starts with one. Maybe it's one look, you know the one, or one touch, even one word. I can start with one step, or one promise, one thrill, one first time, one deep breath, one leap of faith, one day to remember, or one night to forget. One moment, so many stories that make up one crazy, average, everyday, fabulous life. We get one life, just one. Make your move. It all starts with one.
With your regional and international news tonight, I am Svetlana Marshall in the region. Ecuador's presidential election will go to a second round after a closely contested first round result failed to produce an outright winner. The electoral authorities call it a technical tie, after the incumbent center-right candidate Daniel Noboa and his main left-wing challenger Luisa Gonzalez received nearly identical percentages of the vote. The pair will now face a runoff in April. The narrow result also dashed the hopes of Noboa's supporter. An early exit poll suggested he might clinch victory outright. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, expects economic growth in the Caribbean to remain stable this year at around 2.4%. The IMF's growth projection for the Caribbean was revealed by Communications Director Julie Kozak at a media conference in Washington, D.C. Kozak said the Caribbean experienced a rapid recovery after the coronavirus pandemic, with real GDP growth in the region, apart from Guyana and Haiti, being estimated at 2.2% for 2023 and 2.4% for 2024. Kozak said inflation in the region has been moderate, mainly due to lower global commodity prices and easing of supply chain disruptions. She added the IMF expects inflation figures to remain moderate in the years to come. And finally tonight, international news. Hamas says it is delaying the release of Israeli hostages until further notice, accusing Israel of breaching the Gaza ceasefire agreement. Violations include delaying the return of displaced persons to northern Gaza, targeting them with shelling and gunfire in various areas of the Strip, and failing to allow the entry of humanitarian aid in all of its agreed-upon forms, Hamas says. Israel calls the decision a complete violation of the ceasefire deal, which began last month. In total, 17 Israeli hostages were still due to be released in the first phase of the ceasefire, 8 of whom Israel says are dead. The next release was due on Saturday. Hundreds of Palestinian prisoners have been freed by Israel in exchange for the hostages released so far. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Svetlana Marshall, wishing you a pleasant evening.